What's up, guys? It's the Fish. Welcome to vlog number 8. It's kind of tournament extravaganza, if you will. Past 2 weeks, played a lot of tournaments. I don't quite know how tournament circuit grinders do it and stuff because it's a lot of work. Hats off to them, all the credit in the world. I think they're nuts. Cash game is definitely way better for me. But we did try and play some tournaments. First one up, as you've seen in the little cutaway in the beginning, we went to Philly for the Diamond Tournament. I don't know the exact name of it, but 100K guarantee, 10K main event seat up top, as well as 27K, I think. We played day 1 on Friday. It was an 18-flight tournament, and we bagged on 1 bullet. Nothing really eventful in the day 1 tournament, just basically picked spots, and there was about 110 players, I think, or 109. 11 players advanced. Shout out to Lou, who I think got knocked out in about 12th or 13th. He came up to me, said he watches the vlogs. He got knocked out with Ace Jack. That's our hand. We never lose with it, but he found a way to lose with it. Unfortunately, didn't bag, but I appreciate you coming up during the bagging process to say what's up. You appreciate the vlog. So with that being said, we bagged up. Nothing really eventful, just picked spots really well. Decided we were going to play the Borgata Winter Poker Open. So from Philly to Atlantic City. So we ended up playing the $600 buy-in, $2 million guarantee at the BWPO. Nothing really too eventful in the first bullet. We did come right out the gate swinging. Was sitting on about 50 bigs. Even got mentioned in the blog here. My friends had a lot of laughs at my expense on that picture they took. I'll leave the memes at the end of the vlog. I'm not ashamed. They ripped me pretty good for it. But nothing really eventful. Came out with a big stack. Wish I would have had that run good towards the end. I am a pretty tight tournament player. Trying to work on that game, trying to be a well-rounded player, but right now I just stick to, a tight strategy. Stack got pretty small, standard jam ranges, and we didn't hold. So I usually don't rebuy a second bullet into the same tournament, but I ended up buying in anyway. We waited till the next day. Table draw, not so favorable. Had some characters. We had Mike Dentale at our table to our left. I think he's a nice guy. Had a lot of fun. He was splashing around. Jeremy Meacham was there. A couple of other WPT title holders as well. So definitely a fun game. Grinded through and found a bag, which was awesome. So bagged up and on to day 2. So this tournament had a lot of drama in it. Day 2, I believe a player was missing 500K in chips and they didn't know where they went. Turns out it was in the dealer's rack. The well in front of them. I don't really see how that was possible. There was confusion on the bubble when it actually broke. There was a lot of confusion there, but after the bubble broke, we come to our first hand history. Super aggressive player opens under the gun to 21K. Blinds were 5K, 10K with a 1K ante. I had pocket queens on the button, and the jig was up that this player was very aggressive, so I decided to trap here. He was basically opening any hand from any position. He's a pretty decent player as well, so I end up flatting. The big blind completes as well. So the flop is 2-5-6 with 2 spades. It checks all the way to me, which was a shock because the aggro player was basically just raising and c-betting a lot. So interesting spot. It checks to me, I bet 32K. The small blind jams for 134K. I was thinking he had middle pair or a draw. It was a little tough since we had a spade in our hand. It does block some draws, but not all. I was mainly concerned with the aggressive player who folded pretty quickly. So it got back to me, and I took a little bit longer than expected. It just occurred to me, that the bubble broke, 20 minutes ago. This guy was happy with his cash. I seen how happy he was when the bubble actually burst. So I toss in the chips for the call, and he turns over ace deuce offsuit. Queens run pure. It bricks out, and we end up taking the pot. So a couple levels later, that table ended up breaking. We got moved to the final table, which was pretty awesome. Ended up picking up a big pot against, they call him the Hippo, I guess because of his card protector. He has like a Hippo card protector or whatever. With the nut flush, we end up getting our stack up to around 1.5 million. Shortly after, the cameras caught us in another hand, and unfortunately, it was our last hand. We ran kings into aces. I'll leave the article right here. Terrible way to go bust out of a field of, whatever it was, 3,500 players or whatever, to run kings into aces, but it is what it is. That's tournament life for you. We finished 106th, ended up picking up $3,311, less the $1,200 that we spent in buy-ins. So not too bad for 2 days work. I guess I'll take it 3 days if we include the first day that we went bust. So off to cash games we went, where I feel more comfortable. Cash games were awesome. Lots of tournament players as well as the standard weekend Atlantic City crowd, which is always pretty good. Brings us to our first hand history. We have pocket threes. Older gentleman limps. My buddy Teddy, who was at the table, opens to 15. This is 2-5. Under the gun, 2 callers to me in the cutoff. I call, the blinds call. The flop is ace king 3 with 2 hearts. It checks to me. I bet small. I bet 30. 2 callers to the limp caller, which was the older gentleman, who makes it 130, leaving himself about $260 behind. I decide to jam here, and he tank calls with ace jack, and apparently he knows to win with it as well. As you can see in the picture here, it goes runner for a higher boat, and we are quickly down $400. 3 orbits later, there's one limper to the cutoff who makes it 25 to go. And he's been doing this a lot, pretty active, just isolating, trying to pick up the dead money. I have ace 6 of hearts on the button. I decide to curve him. I 3-bet to 85, and he pauses and calls. The flop is queen of diamonds, 8 of hearts, 6 of clubs. There's about $185 in there. He checks. I bet 105 here, just repping a big hand. Again, he pauses and calls. The turn is the 10 of diamonds. Pot is around 395. He checks, and I bet 215, and he quickly folds. I decided to show the hand, hopefully to be able to use this later with an actual hand, but that didn't happen. It was kind of rough on the cash games. We played for hours, nothing really eventful. Ran kings into aces again, lost the minimum, but it still happened. So cash games were not so well. We're on kind of like a 2-5 downslide, but definitely going to work on that, see if it's bad play or variance. Could be bad play, I don't know. Definitely have to look at my 2-5 game because it's the only thing that's trending downward. Doing pretty well online, doing very well 1-2, live cash, and obviously doing fairly decent in tournaments too. So that pretty much summed up the cash games. And now we go on to day 2 of the Diamond Tournament. So day 2 of the Diamond Tournament started out pretty well. We doubled up really early with a set of sixes versus ace king on a king 6-3 board. But then right before break at around 300k, I wake up with aces in the big blind. Under the gun jams for 100k. He gets 1 caller behind, and he has jack 8 of clubs. I end up rejamming over the top. The other player folds, and just no sweat for this player. He gets 2 8s on the flop and runs clean and ends up taking a decent chunk of our stack. But we battled it back up. I mean, after that, it was tough because we were basically down to around 10 to 12 bigs. but we got moved to another table in the corner. Shout out to Eric. He's also known as Funny on Instagram. I'll leave that down there. Pretty funny guy. You know, we had some good times at the table, but I ended up going bust before him. I ended up finishing 35th out of 1,500 players, I think, for a $537 cash. So didn't get the up top prize, but definitely played it as well as I could. Was feeling good that day. Thought that we were going to ship it, but it didn't happen. So tournaments are tough. It's very tough to beat out, you know, these large field events, but definitely feel one coming, and hopefully it's this year and we get it on the vlog because it'll definitely be fun to watch. So you're seeing correctly, ended up going back to Atlantic City after the Philadelphia tournament, spent a whole like 2 or 3 days at home, went up for the almighty stack. It's $450 buy-in. You start with 100K in chips. Very fast structure. They skip a couple levels. It's just to bring people in. It's still a great tournament, $1 million guaranteed, 232 grand up top, something like that. But bought in, one bullet, pretty much nothing eventful, grind it down to nothing. I did that thing that I said I don't do, but apparently I do because I did it twice in one video. I rebought in, and again, just a tough table draw. Couldn't really do much. Players, excuse me, were very aggressive. You know, couldn't really pick up any you know, leeway against them. So 14 levels we grinded at that table. It finally broke. Moved on to another game. Picked up about 100K in chips right before bagging. Did find a bag with about 10 to 15 bigs, but day two was definitely uneventful. We were out in 15 minutes. Called a all-in shove from the button on the big blind with pocket jacks. Tossed in the call. It was jacks versus pocket fours. He ends up flopping quads. Took, you know, just about 60% of our stack away, and we were in push fold mode. Probably about 2 or 3 hands later, we get ace king. There's an under the gun limper, and we decide to jam with ace king, and he open limped with aces. So got it in really bad, but definitely couldn't find a better spot. So, you know, that was quickly 2 buy-ins down the drain, and you know, good game. But definitely fun grinding all these tournaments. We did end up with a positive ROI. I'll post all that stuff at the end, all my stats. I did take 2 days off because just it was 2 weeks of total madness. But we're back at it again. Can't wait to get back into my regular cash game schedule. And I'll definitely let you guys know all about it in the next video. Probably just be a standard cash game vlog, or maybe some online stuff, might switch it up. But for everybody that came up to me, appreciate you guys, love you guys, thanks for the support. If you're watching this video and you're new, you know, like, subscribe, shoot me an email, let me know what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of. You know, definitely get in touch with me on social media, all that stuff. But I'm definitely tired, gonna take some time, and then we're gonna get right back into it. And as always, keep grinding, level up.